Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look.
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Clear.
Dr. Homebrew. Doc's over here a little antsy right now.
Yeah.
We need to get going.
Nope.
You know, usually when the music plays, we hit the post and we're kind of going, but, you know, we got to mess with Doc every now and then.
I don't like that.
Why not?
Because it's not nice.
It's not because it's not nice.
Plus, the live band in the studio doesn't appreciate it when you miss the posts.
Well, that's true. They're like, God, we have to play this friggin' song over and over again now.
They're very good at playing it precisely the same way every time. I don't know.
They're not bad, right?
Yeah.
They're
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay, you can shut up now.
They're walking out. Can
Their
you
lead guitarist is a little bit of a wanker, but you know.
It's a wanker.
They're fading because they're leaving the room. They're walking farther and farther away. Anyway, welcome everyone. This is Dr. Homebrew. We got a couple good beers for you today. We're going to talk to Ricky. We're going to talk to who's the other broad's name? Justin. Ricky and I don't know why I was trying to call him bro, but apparently I called him broad. Sorry, Justin, if you're listening. I don't think you're a lady.
Slip of the lip.
I know, right? Man,
Justina?
It's hot in here. Am I the only one? Is it really
cold?
Friggin' seriously?
It's cold.
What's wrong with me?
I think it's
fan
pretty
is
good.
going full blown here. It's
I
like
think it's
full
good.
speed.
I generally run hot.
Me too, right?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I got this here. Maybe I'll take this off, but then now I won't look as cool to all the people outside, right? Take off my.
They're all glued to that window looking at you.
Take off my layers.
Lose the flannel.
They are. That's the thing, Doc.
Yep.
No, I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know what's going on. Okay, yeah, like I said, we have a couple beers. But first, before I get started, I want to talk to you guys about our fabulous sponsor, 5 Star.
Did you say fabulous?
Well, because I'm doing too many things right now. 5 Star. You can go to 5starchemicals.com, learn all about all the wonderful things that 5 Star does for you guys. They're at a lot of homebrew events, so be sure to, in addition to emailing them and thanking them for being a sponsor on the show and for providing you guys with some awesome little cleaning and sanitizing products. If you see them at events, go up and say hi. Usually they have a bunch of stuff to give out too, so don't miss out on that.
Or if you walk into a homebrew shop, you have to say, like stumble like a zombie and say, Dr. Homebrew made me buy this.
Dr. Homebrew sent me.
I think Fabulous works well for that.
I use
Fabulous?
Yeah, because they're 5 star.
And they're fabulous.
I used to use Irish Spring to clean my fermenters and bleach to sanitize them, but I just thought I'd give this stuff a try.
I think it'd be amazing. Just shave Irish Spring.
Yeah.
Because the soap will dissolve, right?
Sure.
You'll be fine.
Maybe.
They sell all the perfumes and everything else.
Yeah, you'll be fine, though. That's how they make, like, lavender beers, right? They just get lavender-flavored soap, and it's a whole thing, right?
Magically delicious.
Isn't that the most...
I swear I've tasted a few like that, though.
Right?
Phil Snapsa, how'd you get that into your beer?
I was refilling our dish soap dispenser, which is a totally boring story, but I don't care.
I did that this week, too.
Yeah, and I accidentally put in this packet of, like, lavender-scented hand soap. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. And so now I had to dump the whole thing out and, like, rinse it out for days and days because I don't want all my dishes and my glasses, more importantly, smelling like lavender.
You're drinking every beer. It tastes like lavender.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what is this? These are gruits are amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, some soaps are so strong. You like have to hold your hand at the bottom of the pint glass.
Then what do your hands smell like? When you got the other stuff in the other place.
It's all bad, man. It's all bad stuff. Okay, what beers do we have? So we're going to talk to Ricky. He has a Dark Saison with raspberries.
No cherries. Was it cherries?
Raspberries.
No, raspberries.
Raspberries? Okay.
Yeah, right there. And then we have Justin. I want to keep calling him Julian, dude. I am fried right now.
Yes,
I cannot focus. The fuck? Justin has a pecan. Now, this was an interesting beer. It was a Scottish export base beer with bourbon-soaked and toasted pecans. Batch was split. Half was on the pecans, and the other half was on a bourbon barrel stave. And then imagine he blended them back together. So, just a weird beer day, man.
A lot of specialty stuff going on.
Kind of excited about it.
Well, at least we don't have a show with 2 IPAs, huh? JP?
Well, that's true, right?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, bless you for that.
It's been a while. When are we going to get another
IPA.
show like that?
I don't know, man.
I miss the old days. Damn it.
You know, we're talking about, well, I can't tell you. I think it's a secret, so I'm not going to tell you. But right now we have Ricky on the phone. Ricky, are you with us?
I'm here. Hey, guys. What's up?
How you doing, man?
Hey, Ricky.
I'm doing good.
And thanks for joining us, and thanks for sitting your beer in, man.
Hey, no problem.
So how long have you been a home brewer?
I've been homebrewing about 5 years.
5 years, okay. Is this your first foray into fruit beers?
It's my first into the raspberry.
Okay.
I brew a lot of Saisons and a lot of Belgian-style beers, but I wanted to use raspberry before I got into doing some sour. So this is my first raspberry experiment.
First raspberry experiment. And why raspberries and a dark Saison, which I've never heard of. Is that new, or is that just something you kind of just made up?
Well, I've seen other people do it, and I always wanted to use midnight wheat. I don't know if you guys ever use that.
Yeah, I've never used it, but I've heard about it.
On the same lines as Carafa, it's supposed to be at least.
Okay.
And so I wanted to use that, so I figured using Saison, my favorite style, and get a lot of dark color, but not a lot of flavor.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I haven't used it personally, but I know a lot of people have. It's kind of the new, I don't call it the new hotness, but it's the new, a lot of people keep talking about it.
Right.
How did you like it? Did you like messing with it?
It didn't get as dark as I thought it would, but I liked it enough.
Okay. All right. You'd do it again.
Yeah, this is version 1. I'm gonna definitely try this recipe again. So,
yeah, I imagine you have to use the midnight wheat with maybe like another dark grain or something like that. I tried to use it with. Well, I don't want to give away too much of the beer so far. I guess we can get into the recipe after I hear.
We'll dig in the nitty gritty a bit here. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Brian, you want to start us off with this beer?
Sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, just
it smells great. Jeez.
Put my nose down in here too. I gave it a really good score on aroma. It's a really inviting beer for sure. It has this kind of a medium chocolatey malt present there up front but with very, very pleasant raspberry notes. Just like fresh from the garden raspberries right off the vine or whatever you call it. Is it a vine or is it a?
It's a bush, I think.
A bush, yeah, raspberry bush, yeah, straight off the bush. Yeah. So I mean, the raspberry smells really fresh, and it has almost a tinge of tartness, sourness in the nose too. With that gives it a nice little twist. So it also has some other fruity aspects below that, some orange and some cherry beneath that, a kind of a medium level. So it's a really fruity beer, as a Saison should be, and it's blending nicely with that raspberry. I'm getting kind of a low spiciness, almost like a seediness, like when you're eating the raspberries, you get the seeds and the flavor of that. The aroma of this kind of reminds me of the flavor of that, but not in a harsh way. No hops, obviously here. No DMS or diacetyl. Just smooth, very sweet, pleasant fruit, and lightly sour, I would say. So yeah, getting into the appearance, it's a pretty rich, coppery kind of light brown color. So it's declared as a dark Saison. I'd like it to be maybe a little bit darker, but it's still a pretty beer, and you can get away with it's darker than any most of the Saisons I see in the store.
Yeah, he's not lying.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
It's not. Yeah,
but it's orange. Has a deep red amber.
Yeah, it's a thing. reddish copper color, and kind of a fluffy light tan head that stuck around pretty nicely. It was pretty long lasting, and that was nice too. So perfect score for appearance there as far as I was concerned. And then getting into the flavor, it's again the malt is mostly kind of a chocolatey element. There's a lightly tart raspberry flavor in there, nicely in balance with the malt, and that's what I'm looking for in a fruit beer. I want that I don't want that fruit to just come out over the top of everything else, and I don't want it to be buried. I thought it was at a nice level, and it tastes fresh. Bitterness is low and out of the way. The tartness seems to come from the fruit to me. It doesn't seem like a big bacterial sour. Like in the aroma, I was like, oh, is this thing going to be like a punchy in the mouth sour? But it wasn't. The spice and the flavor was quite low. I did have to knock the flavor down a little bit for this because, the style is defined as being kind of definitely a spice and fruit flavored beer kind of. So it's got all the fruit flavors, and hooray for that.
Like that.
There is like a faint kind of a black pepper note in there. It's not heavy, but the ferment seemed really clean. Seems to finish medium dry, but I get the impression of some sweetness from the tart raspberries and the chocolate a little bit. That the chocolate lingers into the aftertaste along with the raspberries. So again, really fresh fruit taste and a nice flavor. Just maybe a little less than what I would declare for a saison. I really want a little more spiciness there.
That's from the
yeast
characters.
Okay.
Yeah,
the yeast is going to kick out.
Okay,
and we'll talk about what yeast he used. I mean, it could be that the raspberries are pretty big, and they could be it could be coming across as kind of a seedy impression with that raspberry that you would taste when you're eating fresh raspberries anyway, and it's like you don't notice that so much with everything else that's going on and the darkness of the beer. So, mouthfeel-wise, it's kind of medium-bodied, a hint of alcohol warmth, and a firm, frothy carbonation. Most somewhat creamy and smooth, not astringent at all. Just nice, goes down nice and easy. Not biting at all. There's, again, a little bit of that seediness, I guess you could say, is like kind of when you chew on a raspberry seed. So I don't know we'll talk about the process with the fruit there too, but I won't complain about that because it did come across really fresh. So I think it's a wonderful example of a fruit beer. In general, it has the most of the components needed for the style, and the fruit tastes really fresh. So it's very complementary with the style. The only thing it's lacking is just a bit of that the high spiciness that really should be, is a defining point of any saison. So nicely done, but find a way to bring that spiciness up, and this would go sky high for me. I already scored it a 40 just because I really enjoy drinking it so much, but it could go easily more than that if you got it just to come a little more into the style. It just needs a little fine tuning, really. So thanks for sharing, Ricky.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doc,
all right,
you ready, buddy?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I'm always ready.
Oh, always ready.
All right, so basically the aroma was really nice. It had just fruit coming out at you, nice and fresh. Though the bottle I had was a little different than the one I'm drinking right now.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
How so?
I didn't get it as much aroma.
Okay.
What I was getting was a lot of strong fruit aroma, but not as fresh as this.
Yeah, I actually I've had my bottle in the fridge, and I pulled it out and run it under some warm water for a bit, and then I judged another beer before I judged it. So mine was probably pretty warm when I judged it. So there may be a difference there. I don't know if you pulled yours. Did you have yours in a cellar or a fridge?
Overnight, and then I had it out for a good 15, 20 minutes. I didn't come up straight cold, but
stormed up a little bit, but still pretty cold.
But there's some other differences too between this bottle and my bottle.
Okay.
But I got definitely some tartness in the aroma, maybe a little bit of astringency. Definitely no hops. A little bit musty I got out of that one. I don't get it in this one. But it's lacking other esters that you'd normally get in a saison.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
It was all fruit.
Yeah.
I didn't get any spiciness, any peppery, nothing like that in that one. But I didn't get any off flavors either. I didn't off aromas. I didn't get any diacetyl. I didn't get any DMS, anything like that. Mm-hmm. So all that was clean.
Okay. Good.
So then you go on to the appearance. Nice dark color, nice ruby highlights. I really like that. As an example I had, this one's a lot clearer than the example I had, too. Mine was a little bit more cloudy.
It does look pretty clear, yeah.
Yeah, mine was more cloudy than this one, too. And I did a nice pour on it. It had been sitting for a while in my fridge. The head was kind of a brownish red, which is nice, and it lasted a lot longer than this one. It was pretty. It was a pretty stout head on there. It lasted a long time. I was surprised how long it lasted.
Maybe a glassware thing here too, because it did seem to fall flat in the studio a little faster.
It did.
Oh,
It did.
okay.
It fell really flat. So I did recognize that right away. That it was really, really nice, long-lasting, nice ruby-looking head on that. It was really, really pretty good. Then we went into the flavor. I thought it was pretty dry, actually. I didn't, not much backing up the raspberry flavor. The sweetness from the raspberries for sure. I got some alcoholic sweetness in there too.
Yeah,
but you expect no malty sweetness to back it up because it's a saison. It's supposed to be really dry, and
you said it was right. That was
it was just very dry. So
yeah.
that goes with the style. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to have something backing up the raspberries a little bit.
Okay, so you want a little bit.
I would like something in there, but then it pulls it out of the style. So it's kind of the double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
It's a nice fruit beer for that one. With this much really nice raspberry flavor and aroma, I wanted more. I wanted more complex flavors at the end because it just went dry.
Okay.
I didn't get it. I didn't get any spiciness. I didn't get any pepperiness. I didn't get any of that. I just all beautiful fruit.
Yeah.
And then it went dry.
Yeah.
Pretty tart, sourness, but again, no diacetyl. Thank you for that, Ricky. The raspberry one that I had tasted a little medicinal at the end.
Okay. All right.
I'm not getting it in this one. So
definitely a little bottle variation happening.
You can get that from oxidation. So it probably has some oxygen in the bottle.
Okay.
Could be something else too.
You can get some tannins from the seeds too.
Right.
Yeah.
So that goes with the tartness and the sourness on that. Also, if you're doing some fruit beers and you're using fruit plus some extract, if you use too much extract, you're going to get the medicinal flavors too. I like to use the extract to help with the aroma. So I don't want to taste the extract. I just want to put in just enough drops so I can smell it.
Oh, you boost the aroma on it. Okay.
There's a doc secret right there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So you want to boost it. You don't want to use the extract, which smells really nice but tastes like medicine.
Mm-hmm. It totally does too.
Yeah, and it does. So you want to do just enough in there so it helps with the aroma, and that's going to help with the flavor too.
Okay.
If you put a couple drops too many, it's going to taste like medicine. And
Right.
I was getting that in the bottle I had at home. I'm not getting it in this one so much, but that's kind of what it brought to mind. Let's go on to mouthfeel. The one I had was very creamy, a lot of thick mouthfeel, kind of almost slick, and it was mine had a lot of carbonation. So I'm thinking maybe even that bottle might even have some infection in it. Just slight, not a lot. I didn't taste anything, but it's extra dry, a little bit ropey in the mouthfeel. I don't get it with this one.
Right.
So variation from bottle to bottle.
It's fairly well carbonated, though.
It was fairly well carbonated,
perfect.
too. So you get that with some infection, you get it fairly well carbonated. But it's enough of a slight difference in this beer than what I had at home.
Okay.
So just a little bit of bottle variation. I got alcohol warmth again on it, in the back and the sides of the tongue. A good medium body, so even if there was infection at all in there, it wasn't too far along. It still had a lot of body to it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you get too much infection, it rolls through there, and the whole body
cleans
drops.
it out.
It just
Right.
cleans it out. No
Yeah.
body. It's just thin, fizzy beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, overall impression, to me, it just lacked the spicy characteristic of a saison. I'm having trouble calling it a saison. I didn't get, it's the style thing. Lacking the strong esters. I just got a lot of fruit. Beautiful fruit, by the way, but that's all I was getting. So it wasn't peppery. I didn't get the strong esters. I didn't get a lot of what should be a saison. So, I kind of come to maybe not pairing a saison with the raspberries, or at least this beer with it. I would try everything you did with this beer, do a different style with it.
And you don't think it works?
Not for me. It's just the things I want to see in the fruit take away from the Saison.
Okay, so like and the spiciness of the yeast character, which should be in the style.
I'm not getting that here, so that kind of lacks on the Saison thing. But I want more, say, roundness and sweetness from the fruit,
which isn't the style,
and it makes it out of style for a Saison.
Right.
It does say in the guidelines too, though, that the Saison yeast character, has to be there, but the maltier and richer it gets, they'll tend to mask that character more. So I might have forgiven it. I might have been a little more forgiving of that, and maybe I shouldn't have been. But I agree with a lot of the points you're making about the beer. It's would I taste this beer out of the blue and think it was a Saison? What would I call it? I don't know what style I'd put it in, but I might not.
It would hint at it.
It hints at it with all the fruitiness, and there's
a
little bit of spicy to me, but it's not heavy in the fruit, and the richness of the malt covers it up somewhat.
Right.
Quite a bit.
All in all, I'm knocking you down on style points. Mostly.
Hopefully, he doesn't tell us he didn't use a Saison yeast.
That's what I knocked you down on all the points. I'm grading it per style. You called it that, and that's what we have to grade you on the base beer first. Too.
Right. Got to stick to it.
Yeah. So,
what'd you give him?
I gave him a 33.
Okay.
And that's just all style points. I mean, it's a nice beer. I like drinking it too.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here for.
That's true.
Yeah. So I hope that helps, and that without knocking you out of the park here. But
we're still within 7 points in a competition. This would be fine, but we might want to get a little closer.
Usually, Brian and I are a lot closer on that.
Yeah, well, and usually due to the format of the show, you guys don't have time to discuss it and come up either way.
We usually don't discuss our scores, and we're within a couple of points anyway, which is amazing to me.
Right.
I just really liked the beer. I enjoyed it. It's a very smooth drinking beer, and I forgave a little bit of the style lacking. But it's just 1 point of the style, but it's a major point of the style.
I mean, had you called it something else? Then I wouldn't have knocked you down on it's all style points, and that's it's not. Well, it's the beer.
Let's get into it a little bit, Ricky. How did you use the raspberries? What did you do? Because that blew everybody away.
Okay, so I used raspberry puree.
Okay.
And I used 3 pounds of raspberry puree in this 5-gallon batch.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Is that too? But it wasn't too much, I don't think, right? No. I mean, the flavor was there. It's not overly astringent. Maybe a little astringent.
Yeah, it was a little over astringent, but
not insane amount. And the aroma was
you got
dead
it's a
on,
fine line between I don't taste any raspberries and I taste a little bit of astringency. I take the astringency and a lot of raspberry flavor over.
Totally.
Over. Did you put raspberries in there?
Right. Are you sure you did?
Yeah, because it's easy to do that.
Okay, that's
a good amount there, yeah.
What about your yeast?
The yeast I used was Y yeast 3711, the French Saison.
Okay.
And I use that yeast a lot in my Saisons, but I usually ferment it at technically a cooler temp than most people say they ferment it at. I ferment at about 68, and then I raise it up to about maybe 74 to finish out. This one finished out at, I think, 1004 is where this one finished.
That's super dry.
It tastes like
it.
Yeah.
That's a nice job.
It's pretty dry, but it has the impression of sweetness from the fruit. So that's kind of cool.
A lot of people have trouble with this thing even finishing down.
Yeah.
Let alone that far.
It's good.
Good job on that.
How come you, what's the reasoning behind doing it at 68?
Well, in my fermentation chamber, maybe a lot of times I'll have more than one beer going at a time. Mm-hmm. And instead of taking my Saisons up to high or 80s or something like that, like most people do, I like to keep more things going at once. So I'll keep it at 66, 68, which is where I ferment most of my ales.
Okay, so just, I don't know, brew house limitations, I guess, for lack of a better...
Yeah, more so not wanting to get a lot of esters in my other beers.
Right, okay.
So
you're doing multiple batches at the same time?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Do you have any questions for the guys, Ricky?
No, I was going to say I did use this is also the first time. Well, the first time I used the dark candy sugar. So usually in my saisons I'll use clear candy sugar, and I know Lee said he would taste in some like chocolatey, roasty kind of things. I think that may be coming from the dark candy sugar.
Yeah, it's not a rich chocolatiness, but it's kind of it hints at chocolate with the dark character in there. So
maybe that combined
it's
with
not not roasty or biting or rich, super rich malt at all. Like no roasty or even edging on roastiness, but it's just kind of like like what you'd get from a pale chocolate, kind of a smooth, like rich darkness to it. Yeah.
Okay.
What was it? The liquid candy sugar, or rock, or
it was liquid. It was liquid candy sugar.
Stuff. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a lot easier that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have any questions for the guys, Ricky, I think that's it. We'll let you go.
Well, I do have one question.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Instead of instead of calling because they said they couldn't pick up the saison characters, what else could I call this to get it closer to being
Good
more
question.
accurate?
That's yeah. I mean, most of the Belgian styles are going to have some kind of a pepperiness to it, but it doesn't taste like an American or an English or really or a German beer or anything either.
Could he have gone just like a farmhouse without getting specific like that? Is farmhouse the style? I don't know. I haven't read the new guidelines. I have no idea.
Not so much the new guy. Just if you could, almost just an ale, because it was just it's just very, very dry.
Or like fruit beer, put in the fruit beer category?
Yeah, definitely in the fruit beer category.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I guess you'd have
but
to.
they're going to want to know the base style.
Yeah.
And
that's a good question. But yeah, you might want to just drive that temperature up a little higher the next time, and it might pull out some more of that.
Yeah.
I think that the French saison yeast is generally a little bit smoother and silky and just softer on the palate than some of the other saison yeast, so it's not as biting and as harsh and astringent or kind of peppery. So you could probably maybe even mix your yeast strains if you like that one. Blend another saison yeast strain in with it, and you might get the best of both worlds out of that, and kind of get some more of the pepperiness. But yeah, I'll drive it up a little bit more at the end there, and maybe start a little higher if you can. Just hold on. You're prolific there, so that's good. But empty something out and then start one a little higher than you do, and then maybe just pull it out in the summer or something in a warmer space in your house or whatever, and make it work. So that yeast will go pretty high.
Cool. Try a little more aggressive yeast, because this might be fine. The yeast might be fine if you don't have the raspberries in there, because it just kind of overpowers the softness of that yeast. So
you also just grind up some peppercorns and drop those in there.
Just fake it.
See,
you might want to try that just with one glass.
It might do
just pour a glass and grind up some peppercorns and put a little bit in there until you can taste it. You only got to do it with one beer.
Well,
it's the same flavors. I mean, it's not
the same flavors.
Yeah.
It'd be surprised what you're going to get out of it.
Are you going to do that, Ricky, or are you? These people are kind of crazy. So
it's a phenolic flavor.
I've done something like that because I work at a homebrew shop, and
Nice.
we actually took this sample and put one of the samples and put some lactic acid in it, just to see kind of what it would be like if we turned it sour because of all the raspberry flavor.
Yeah,
and it actually was pretty good. So that may be something I do, is put some peppercorn in it to see how it turns out.
There you go.
Or if you could get it more lactic, you could probably even enter it as a Berliner with raspberry, because it's dry enough. It just lacks that lacticness.
It's very alcoholic though. Maybe a wild sour or something.
Yeah. Do it again and sour it, man. And then send it in though. Send it to us because we want it.
Yeah,
will do.
All right. Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you so much.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Bye.
That was fun.
Cool. Good beer too. Hung up him. Okay, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Justin and his bourbon pecan homebrew. Right?
Scottish export.
Thank you, Scottish export. I'm kind of excited about this because I kind of like all these flavors, man. I like Scottish exports. I like pecans. I like bourbon. I like wood. Am I going to like them all together?
Like being exported.
I love being exported. All right, it's Dr. Homebrew, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Kings.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Now, back to the examination.
All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us.
And the band stuck with us. Those guys are still there.
The band is still here, man.
Well,
And
they're
that's,
paid all night. Come
They
on.
get to play for 15 seconds at a time. They get paid the same as us.
Well, and they get a portion of the door too.
Which is nothing.
They're
Yeah.
union.
Yeah.
They're super union people. All right, on the phone we have Justin. Justin, are you here, buddy?
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Yeah, got you loud and clear, man.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Bad.
Not too bad. Brian, you want to pop those beers, man? Thank you. Pop that beer. So we are trying your Scottish export bourbon pecan beer, man. Right?
Yeah.
That cap smells good. Even the cap smells good.
Where'd you come up with the idea for this one?
I had not too long before I decided or kind of came up with a recipe for that. Abita makes a pecan ale.
Yes, it's good too.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
So I did that. I got like a 6-pack of that, and then like I said, I did a split batch with this. Half of it I did with the pecan, and the pecan was toasted and soaked in bourbon, and then the other half I just did on a bourbon barrel stave. So that one's just the pecan and bourbon. The bourbon barrel one I ran out of already.
You ran out. You didn't just drink it all.
It just sort of ran out.
Yeah. It disappeared. I don't know what happened. Is this the first time you tried something like this?
Yeah, this is the first time.
Okay. And the big question, the important question, how long have you been homebrewing?
For about 3 years or so.
Okay. I think that's right about the time when you start messing around with stuff like this, right?
Yeah. I was kind of excited. I was in Brazil for a couple years, and I brewed there.
Oh, wow.
But there's, no bourbon there, or it's extremely expensive, so I wasn't using bourbon for brewing there. So when I got back, it was nice to be able to get that in barrel stage and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like a whole new ingredient for you.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. All right, Doc, you want to start off since we made Brian go last time?
All right, fine.
So, I know you being put on the spot.
Yeah. So originally we were looking at this being a wood-aged beer because that's what JP told us. But we kind of also judged it as the 14C, the Scottish export.
I'd put it in category 33B if you were entering in a competition. I guess if you're it's a specialty wood-aged beer.
Okay.
So does this one have wood in it?
No, it does not.
Oh. JP told us wood.
I said he had split half of the batch. Well, I wasn't entirely clear, but
yeah, I might have not clarified. Sorry.
No. Honestly, I should have. So, if you guys knocked him down points because you couldn't taste any wood, bring those points back up.
Right.
That's my fault.
All right.
So aroma. Let's go with that one. It's got some very strong esters. I get a slight sourness out of it. The diacetyl, slight to medium. I would just got the butterscotchy kind of aroma, which is okay in this style to have a little bit of that. No hop aromas really. You're not supposed to in this style anyway. So it's just all malt. I got some alcoholic notes, really kind of rumbling through at the end. Definitely, you can smell the bourbon in there too, and that actually has a lot of the oak character in it. So I'm getting a lot of oak out of the smell.
Oh, okay, sure.
And so
see, look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
It is oak aged after all, just not the beer.
The barrels, the
bourbon is.
The bourbon's oak aged. I'm getting a lot of that smell coming through.
Yeah, me too. Oh, got it. What kind of bourbon did you use, Justin? Sorry, I'm gonna.
I used Bullet.
There you go. Okay.
What a waste for Bullet.
Hey, maybe that's his low shelf. You don't know. You don't know how he rolls. Yeah,
good point.
He could have be Blanton's up here and then Bullet right there, and that's fine.
I don't.
Nice choice, by the way. Good.
Yeah.
So when I poured it out of the appearance, tall foamy head, it went away pretty quickly. That can be indicative of a lot of alcohol in there too. It'll take it down. Medium cloudiness. Medium to low cloudiness. It's definitely not clear or brilliant. So, still not bad. I just call it that's Brian's shitty pour. So,
I call it bouncing around in JP's trunk on the way here on the speed bumps.
That's true.
The BSP, Brian's shitty pour. So, but all in all, it's got nice legs on it. It's the head sticks around the sides of the glass pretty well.
Yeah,
that's all pretty good. Flavor, slight to moderate diacetyl, especially at the finish. We're still getting that, in the style. But I think it's just a little pushing it a little bit too much for the style. It's pretty dry. I'd like to have more malt roundness in this kind of beer. The color's really good for the style, so that kind of leads you to wanting more.
Yeah,
what's the flavor going to be and things. So, it's a little alcoholic. It doesn't hide it very well. That you're not saying you put too much in there, but you need more maltiness to kind of hide that. So
more sweet.
Yeah,
to kind of cover that. Okay.
Yeah, kind of maybe higher ferment temp. Mash temp and a lower ferment temp. both those two things. That helps hide it.
Yeah.
I didn't get much bourbon in the flavor though. It's more in the nose.
I get it. I mean, now that he says bullet, I'm well versed in bullet. I could totally taste.
Yeah, I'm getting
bullet.
it. I'm getting that. It's got.
So I
that.
wonder if you just pick another.
It's got that graininess. I'm getting the graininess coming.
Because that's a smooth bourbon.
It's a smooth bourbon.
Yes.
Like I've done it a couple times. I use Wild Turkey, which is a little, I think, more aggressive.
Just buy the cheapest bourbon you can get and put a teaspoon in your batch. Then you're good. You know.
Nah, I put a lot more in that.
Yeah, no, just kidding.
I really like a lot of bourbon in it. I do like a lot of bourbon in there.
Yeah, but if you're using a smoother bourbon, that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Like, you might not get as much of the character.
I like Maker's Mark in there because you can get it anywhere, and it's got a nice big round flavor to it, bold flavor to it, and it's not going to break the bank, and you don't cry when you put the bullet in there. So
one for my homies.
As far as the pecans, I'm not getting a lot of pecans out of this flavor at all. I didn't smell them, and
because I totally do. Because have you had the beer that he's talking about, the Abita, the pecan?
No,
I think they're front and center. But yeah, I don't know how to describe it. And it's not like eating a pecan pie, which is the only other time I've ever had pecans.
I'm just not getting.
What is it?
It's one of those things where you call it a pecan, whatever, and you don't.
Just because
I'm wanting more.
Justin, how do you describe a pecan flavor? Help me out. Help me out.
Oh no, it was from even while I was like doing the recipe and stuff, and I was trying to research it. I heard that people were saying it was kind of a delicate flavor to get through, and I was afraid of how much I was going to use if it was going to get kind of that vegetal type flavor of having that much organic stuff in
mealy,
it. So
mealy, maybe a little.
Did you roast them at all?
Yeah, let's see, I wrote down here somewhere. Yeah, I don't see, but I toasted them in the oven for I don't know, like 15-20 minutes, and then I let them sit in a bag to try to soak up some of the oils, and then I put them in the beer. Then I put them in the bourbon, rather.
Oh, okay.
God, you know what? I'm sorry, Doc. Keep going. I'm going to try to work on the flavor descriptor of pecans.
Well, I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just barely getting it.
Actually, you can just leave the studio and let us sit here and talk, and you go buy some pecans.
I'll do that. I'll go wait for them to come in season,
go take
and
a
then
run.
I'll be right back.
See you later.
Take a run. I've eaten plenty of pecans in my life.
Okay. I never have, so I've only drinking them. Drank them.
Drinking.
Yeah. So I thought, although I thought the taste was a little bit cloying too.
Yeah.
It just kind of made my parotid glands just kind of squirt. You know.
You are a doctor. Jesus.
Yeah. So that I got at the end, and I just got too much butterscotch at the end.
Mm-hmm. I think some of that is the pecan, honestly. Kind of an oily,
some oils,
almost buttery, but not really butter.
Well, that comes to the mouthfeel. Like that's exactly what I'm getting. A creamy slickiness, kind of almost ropey, and that's going to be from the oils from the.
That's Doc's word of the day today. It's ropey. Ropey.
So I wrote it down all over the place. So that's the main thing in the mouthfeel.
Okay.
Other than that, it was pretty nice.
Yeah. What'd you give it?
27.
All right.
Only because I had to knock it down because it's just too much butterscotch in there, and I didn't get enough, maltiness in the back.
Okay. Brian.
Okay. Yeah. So again, getting into the aroma, it does have a somewhat inviting aroma there. It's got a low, moderate kind of toasty malt. There's no hops, and that'll be appropriate to style, but there's some smooth. There's kind of a woody character to it. It's like you get the bourbon and you think of wood, I guess. It's like you get the vanillins and the but you get wood. Yeah. I think of bourbon and I get wood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when you call it bullet. Oh yeah.
No. So it's not sharp at all. It's just something smooth in there with the booze. But yeah, there's a pretty mellow, moderate bourbon booziness to this. It's not at all overwhelming in the aroma. It has pretty low esters in there. There was a bit of that buttery, butterscotchy thing. Again, no obvious nuts to me or anything that I would think of as like a nuttiness or a pecan-like aroma. But and I didn't get any bad DMS or acetaldehyde or anything. And I don't know, again, if it doesn't smell fully like diacetyl. The butteriness is kind of a butterscotchiness like you can get in some of the Scottish beers.
It's not an off flavor, but I don't know. I think it's the pecan edition.
Yeah,
I think there's something in there. Maybe there's too much.
It's presenting itself in an interesting way, so it's not like it wasn't what I expected, but it might be that's what it is.
Yeah.
Appearance wise, it's kind of amber colored. It was a little bit light for the style. It's kind of like around an 11 SRM. It's kind of, you want to hit at least 13 or into the teens there to get a little more coppery colored. There's kind of a medium amber with kind of orangish tinge to it, but you want to get a little richer in the color for the Scottish beers. A little bit of hazy presentation. Again, I blame JP. It's got low off-white head that faded pretty soon after pouring, probably from the booze. In the flavor, it's malty with some toast, mostly a Swedish caramelly kind of flavor, and a little bit of that.
Not Swedish like the nationality, but
pretty sweet beer. Yeah,
I get a lot of Swedish fish and
but at the same time, it's just that's kind of a one trick on the malt. It's one trick pony. It's kind of just this caramelly thing. It's not as rich or bold or kettle caramelized as you would expect it to be, and it seems a bit fruitier in the flavor than it was in the aroma. It was kind of just low esters in the aroma, but it's a little fruitier in the flavor. And the booze is hanging in there nicely in check with everything else. There is a little bit of a bitingness. It's not harsh, but you get that bourbon does attack your tongue a little bit, and that's again kind of going into the mouthfeel there. But it seems to finish pretty sweet. Again, not getting a lot of nuttiness or what I would expect as a nuttiness, but I don't eat pecans every Tuesday either, so...
This is Thursday.
Yeah. Oh.
Pecan Thursday.
That's a different story.
That's what the bar should do.
Yeah.
Pecan Thursdays, everybody.
Yeah. Body-wise, it was pretty full, medium full body, and... maybe a little too full for the style. If you get it to a wee heavy, that can be pretty full bodied. But like a Scottish export, that's like a 5.5% beer at the most, maybe a lower. But yeah, so it's a little bit. There was a little bit of astringency and roughness in the mouthfeel that I was kind of sensing in the flavor. It had kind of some boozy flavors that were it's smooth bourbon, and I think there's a lot of it in there that it's really coming through, and you also get that warmth. So it's weird because it doesn't seem like the beer itself is that heavy on the alcohol, but the booze makes it seem like it is. So it's kind of a weird animal to me. Carbonation is medium low, where it should be, and that's fine. But overall, it's an interesting beer. I had a kind of a hard time judging it, but it was a pretty good job of keeping the booze in balance with the other elements that are there. But it is pretty prominent, just to the edge of pushing everything else. But like, what I find is that it's just not, the style is not pushing up enough. It's the richness that you would get from the malt and the Scottish kettle caramelization and the richness that you get and the darkness from the malt. That would give it a better balance. Again, it's a decent booze character. I'm not getting the nuts. I might just be nuts, but I would either.
Well, you've been married for a long time.
Bring those up, or thank you. Or maybe just get rid of them and don't even declare the pecans. I think it would be a nice if you brought up just with the booze and the Scottish ale. That would be a fun beer, and the nuts you could. Leave them out the next time. I'm not getting much from them, and it is a subtle flavor. And if you do, like you said, if you do go over the top, you might get this kind of mealy, funky thing. Like trying to put too many things into a specialty beer can be troubling because you just end up trying to get a three-way balance right is a lot harder than trying to get just two-way balance right.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, it's. I like the beer. It's very drinkable. But I also kind of knocked it down for various things that I talked about. So I gave it a 28. But it's very drinkable, and we could sip a lot of this and use a nice bourbon in it. So, for a lot of aspects of it are pretty nice. So, thanks for sharing it. And if you have any questions,
I would have given it a 32.
Go. Okay,
because I get pecan like a lot, and I think it might be overdone. And I wonder if the style is maybe a little high. If you could bring the style down a bit, and the pecan would come through a little bit, because you get the sweeter, I think, more butterscotchy vibe kind of thing from the pecans with a lot of that sweet malt, and then the sweet from the bourbon. I think those three things aren't jiving so well, and I think one needs to be backed off a little bit. And I would say the beer style.
Do a boozy and woody version of it with with boosting up the Scottish ale style a little bit. What you can do is take the first gallon of wort that you pull off, do their first runnings, and then just boil the shit out of that for 20, 30 minutes.
And real thick.
You get it real thick, and then you do the rest of your runoff, and it can give you the richness that you want. Or just do an extended, like 120-minute boil. But, that's one of the tricks is you can kind of boil the first runnings a little bit.
Bunch of stuff you can do.
Try to do that. But like I would say, too, like JP was kind of alluding to there, we talked about earlier, the wood kind of being declared when we judged it. I had that in the back of my mind, and it was kind of lacking, so I probably brought it down a couple of points for that. So I might get up towards 30 with you there, JP. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's leave Doc behind, because we're...
dust.
I'm not budging.
Justin, do you have any questions for the guys, or anything you want to comment about about your process? I mean, I think you're pretty straightforward.
Yeah, no, I agreed with what all you like. I'm looking at my notes. I tried to take some notes when I tasted it last, and the same things. I thought it was the body was a little thin. I thought that it was a little astringent in the finish, and I wasn't sure. When I sent it in, that's when I decided what it should be classified as, and I'm not sure now if it should be a Scottish export or not. I'm looking at my recipe was a 5-gallon batch. I'm sorry. I had 10 pounds of Maris Otter, a pound of Crystal 40, a pound of Carapils, and a pound of wheat. And then which is mostly why it doesn't really have any body. I mashed at 150. And then for the yeast, it was the Y yeast 1098, and I did 1 liter starter. But I'm thinking about for it to be a Scottish export, I would have been better if I had mashed it higher and maybe a different yeast, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's a different English beer or something. What was the starting gravity on this?
The starting gravity was 1054.
Okay. Yeah, kind of where you should have it for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it finished at 1011. But yeah, I guess that would be my question is, do you think it would be better as brewing it to maybe a different style, more like a English ale, or keeping it as the Scottish export and trying to get a little more body and
you want to use that the Scottish yeast with it to do that, and it kind of imparts a little bit of smokiness kind of to the from the yeast in that case, which helps define the style too.
Might be good though.
I think that would be a good way to go. I mean, I thought
I like
the idea of it, of bourbon, pecans, Scottish export. It sounded nice to me.
Yeah.
And when I poured it was a little too light. And sometimes something like that can color your impressions of the rest of the beer too. You're like, oh, it's too light. And it's like, I don't think I was overly harsh on it, but it's just like, well, it's a little disappointing on certain fronts up front, and then you just kind of go.
Yeah, so I think it's a good idea for a beer.
Totally good. Yeah.
Just need to kind of perfect, what the Scottish export is to you, and.
Well, yeah, and to your point, Justin, I would maybe try a lighter bodied style, because I want the pecans to show through more and not kind of. I would also try a different bourbon. I would try a more oak heavy bourbon.
More aggressive bourbon.
Yeah, like a Maker's Mark is fine.
Or you could do a Bullet Rye.
I was thinking a rye might be pretty tasty in here.
Bullet rye is going to give you that heavy special and that spiciness.
But it's still pretty, middle of the road as far as intensity goes.
But you're still going to get that oomph from the rye.
Yeah, or like Evan Williams makes some good bourbons for the same amount of, same price, $30 or whatever it is. See, that's what you have to do. Are you a bourbon guy, Justin? You like bourbon?
Yeah. That's
See?
actually I use the Bullet because here in Columbus, it's like almost for that. I think it's like a $7.50 bottle I got. It's like $10 cheaper than a bottle of Makers. So that's why I use the Bullet.
So it's like the Budweiser of bourbon.
Right. See, that's when you know that your community is doing pretty good economy wise. Like if your bottom shelf is Bullet, that's not bad.
It's not too bad.
I mean, I don't know, but see, so that's what you can do. Then you just go around and there's your excuse to blow $150 on bourbons. And you do a tasting, man, and you figure out. But that's my personal suggestion because I like everything that you've done here. I like these kind of beers. I like bourbon. I like wood in the beers.
I mean, it's good that you didn't try to blend it with a really hoppy beer or something.
Right,
that would just kill it.
Killed everything.
You want to keep it as on a maltier style like the Scottish and the English ales, but not some of the English. You don't want to do with it like an ESB or something with a lot of bitterness.
Yeah,
but
but no smooth bourbon.
Do it with
be a little more aggressive on it.
Do like a mild ale or a dark mild or something with it, and put a little booze in there and kind of bring up, maybe the pecans will show through a little more that way. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
More like the American styles, I guess. Because like you were saying, the yeast characteristics, you probably want a cleaner yeast in there. A lot like, now I just blanked on his name. Ricky with the Saison. The raspberry could cover up the Saison, characteristics of his yeast. I have a feeling the pecans and the bourbon are kind of going to do the same thing with the Scottish.
I don't think the yeast is getting in the way here.
No, but I think the other way around.
It's a pretty neutral kind of British yeast. That's more characterful than a Chico, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, first of all, Justin, what yeast did you use?
He said 1098.
1098. Okay, perfect. I'm saying maybe the pecans,
British ale yeast,
and the bourbon are hiding any sort of yeast characteristics that are coming through. So you might as well just use a clean. Maybe not. I don't know.
You can experiment, but I like the idea of the Scottish yeast and the twisting it that way.
You have to make a lot of
this. Declare it this
Justin.
way, but, yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you guys have a suggestion on the Scottish yeast? Like I just used, there's a they have like a British beer contest. I did a mild for it, and I used Edinburgh. I liked it pretty good. Do you guys have any opinion on that? Maybe trying it with the Edinburgh yeast?
You can just go with like the regular kind of yeast 1728, the Scottish ale yeast, or something similar to that. I don't have a lot of experience with the Edinburgh, but what did that do for you? Was it nice?
Yeah, the mild came out pretty good. I like it.
Why don't you just try this whole thing with with your mild recipe?
Yeah,
same thing you're doing, and try it that way.
That'd be so good.
I think it'd be pretty nice,
dude.
All right, well, I'll send them in when they're finished.
Yes, and I will check up. I liked it.
So the Scottish yeast are going to accentuate the malt and give you a nice counterpoint to that bourbon and everything else.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Keep it going. Keep having fun with that beer. Don't let us peg you into hole here. Like you need to go into the corner there and put your beer this way. Just do different things until you get something that really balances well for you and your friends and what you like, and keep having fun with it. That's the fun of homebrewing.
Do you have any other questions for the guys, Justin?
No. It was really good feedback. It was my first try with that beer. I figured it would need some adjustments, but I appreciate the feedback.
No, you're well on the way, and it's just some
keep plugging
twists
along
and turns here and there, and have some fun with it.
All right. Thanks, Justin.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, man.
Cheers.
Bye. It's good beer. All right, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to give away some prizes, and then we're going to leave.
Prizes.
Yeah. It's Dr. Homebrew, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yay.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Admit it. Homebrewing is not always free of frustrations. Years ago, brothers Bill and Jim Mitchell decided to minimize those frustrations and create an entirely new brewing process and a brand new kitchen appliance, the Pico Brew Zymatic. The Zymatic sits on your kitchen counter and connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. It comes with access to a huge recipe library full of award-winning beers and can brew your next batch at the push of a button. Improve repeatability and refine your recipes with the Pico Brew Zymatic. With minimal cleaning and hassle, the Zymatic enables anyone to brew craft beer in the comfort of their own kitchen. Just add your ingredients and the process of homebrewing becomes simplified and automatic, allowing you to focus on what really matters while you brew. At Pico Brew, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy the art of homebrewing and make their own damn good craft beer. See the Zymatic in action today at picobrew.com.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
Oh, no, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's a pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, thanks for sticking with us, everybody. Before we get to the real stuff, who's going to win some grog tags here? I want to talk to you guys about the iDip. We've talked about it before, and you've heard other people mention on the shows. But Brian recently was able to use the iDip.
I did.
Right, Brian, which, in case you don't know what it is, it's a photometer. Right, that's the word. You do your water testing in it, and you use like 4 mils of water. It pairs with an app on your phone, so you can share your water results. You get it right up to date. It's instantaneous. There's no math. You don't have to calculate anything out. I know there's a bunch of spreadsheets. Doc, we've talked about on the show several times. There's water spreadsheets and all this kind of nonsense, right? You don't have to do that anymore. It's just this little handheld device, pairs via Bluetooth with your phone, and you can have a record of all your water. So, like for Doze, for Club Doze, if you do a brew or whatever, you can share the water profile with everybody.
It's pretty simple.
It's just that simple. So, Brian, you monkeyed around with it a little bit. Right?
It's pretty fun to use. It's easy to use. It took a little. I worked to get the hang of it. I've never really been a lab guy or anything. I took a little chemistry in high school and in college, but you're not required to be a chemist. It's if you can dip a strip in a liquid and hold it in there for 20 seconds, kind of you gently wave the strip back and forth, which has the reagents contained on it that the photometer, looks through the liquid to determine what all is in there, and different ways of calculating it. But it does everything for you, and you connect to your iPhone. That was really easy, worked smoothly, or your any device, whatever Bluetooth device you have. And you just go through the tests, and the kit was for all the things you want to know for your brewing water: your calcium, the alkalinity, the hardness.
There's 35. There's like 35 tests.
Yeah, both. Yeah, I mean the brewing kit comes with it calculates the magnesium hardness for you. It gives you your calcium hardness and chlorides, sulfates, everything. So. I mean, I know I have hard water, and it was like, yep. And there's a lot of magnesium, a lot of alkalinity, a lot of hardness, and it's like, yeah, that's our water, And then I did another test with just a bottle of, crystal spring water, or whatever. It's just like, and everything came in low on that. So it was, very easy to use and pretty fun to play with. So I did a demo for the Madzheimer's Homebrew Club. At our last club meeting, and we tested another local water. So there's like in the Bay Area, there's a lot of different. I'm on Zone 7, and some buddies of mine up in San Ramon are on the East Bay Mud, and the buddy that I brew with, Eric, he gets water from his dad's place and brings it in big jugs and brews with that. And I know why.
Oh, really?
We tested it, and everything was nice and low on that. You had a little calcium in there, and most of the other stuff is low. So it was kind of nice that way. It's nice to know what you're brewing with, and if you need to adjust it for the style you're making that particular day. So
especially if we talk about on the show a lot. Water matters, and I've never done water tests because I don't want to do the math. That has always intimidated me, but with this, you don't have to.
Well, also, Colin Kaminsky has talked about this too. It can change day to day. If they switch reservoirs on you, and you pay the money to send it into like Ward Labs, and you get your test back. Hey, this is my water. That doesn't mean it's
forever and ever. Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily could mean your water today.
What's my water?
And especially those people who filter their water and leave it in their mash tun or whatever overnight to drive the chlorine
off the chloramines.
What is that doing to your? I mean, you want to change. You want to know exactly what's going on right before you dump your grains in.
Right, and I measured at home the filtered water versus the. Just straight from the tap, and it was lower on the chlorine. So there's definitely it's removing some of the chloramines, but it still was fairly high. So it's not removing all of it. You want to run your filters really slow to get that stuff out. But you can look at it and know where you're at that day. So that is nice, and you can blend in some RO, or you can boost something up. We made a batch on Monday, and it was like we used that San Ramon water. And we were making a porter, so I wanted to bring up, certain things to make it right for the porter, and so we did some mineral additions there right on the spot. I just kind of calculated them in Brewer's Friend or whatever there. So I just kind of put together a water profile that we wanted to use and made a shallow grave clone, and it's fermenting happily away now. You can see it on the Beer Bug site.
Sounds great. I recommend it. It's the only tester on the market that you don't need math, which is instantly my friend. So you can go to smartbrewkit.com, and there's a code TBN15. That's all caps, the letters TBNN, and you get free shipping plus a bottle of reagent, which is like a $70 value or something like that. I don't know. I love the iDip. I think it's rad. The guys are really nice. George is the main guy we're talking to. He goes, if you have any questions or anybody has any questions, just call me up and I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah, I chatted with him.
You don't really get that kind of level of service these days with some products. But I don't know. The guys at the Smart Brew Kit are really solid people, and they were in Itchy last year. They'll be in Itchy this year. They're kind of everywhere. So go up to them and say hi.
That's a good outfit. And those reagent bottles come with a lot of tests. It'll last you a long while.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's give out some stuff, man. So we had Justin and we had Ricky. Ricky had the Raspberry Saison, and Justin had the Pecan Scottish Export. And so the winner of the $40 Grog Tag, At Least Your Beer Will Look Good gift certificate was Justin with his pecan Scottish thing there.
You can put a lot of stuff on that label.
Definitely. Well, and so he already has labels that he made.
The label is actually really cool.
Jean-Luc Picard, and there's like an 8-bit graphic of Jean-Luc Picard in a Star Trek outfit or whatever it is.
With his hands over his face.
His hand over his face, yeah.
What have I done?
So there you go. Justin, you can now go over to grogtag.com and start pre-planning your labels, and I'll send an email to Todd over there at GrogTag and have him hook you up, and we'll be good to go.
Those guys are starting to make tap handles coming up pretty soon too.
They're making tap handles, customized tap handles, dude.
You could take your Jean-Luc Picard and port it to the tap handle if you want to make this over and over.
It's Jean-Luc Picard.
Sorry.
How dare you?
Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah. Jean-Luc
He even
Picard.
waxed the bottles.
He even waxed 2 of the bottles, and I think he ran out of wax, so he used duct tape. So
mine was waxed.
Yours was waxed, but the one that we drank here was duct tape, which I was like, fine. Yeah. Actually, I prefer it. I think it's great.
Hey, anybody up in the Sacramento area want to take a beer judging 101 class? Sac Beer Week coming up. We're doing a class on the 28th of February. So anyone listening live who lives in that area, go to tinyurl.com/SacBWClass16 and grab a ticket. Or search for us on Sac Beer Week website.
Perfect.
We'll teach you how to be a judge.
Yeah, and you should learn how to be a judge. It's a lot of fun. Doc, you need to do it.
Or just listen to our show.
Yeah, I probably should,
Yeah.
Put it right on the list.
You need it, JP. Come on up.
Look, it's a great class and all, but I did it. I'm a judge. That's it. I did it. I did it to say I did it. Oh, sorry, Brian. I turned you off.
You're all right, buddy.
Why you're the host of the show.
That's right. The
hostess with the mostest.
All right. Before we get out of here, let me remind you to check out all our other shows. We have the session coming up on Monday. We got Pizza Port coming in, and then next Monday, Doc is the Seven Stills show.
I keep looking at it on my calendar. It looks like it's Steven Stills.
Steven Stills show.
Steven Stills on the show?
We're going to drink a bunch of bourbons and whiskeys and talk about stuff, man.
It's caught me how many times that I look at my calendar real quick. Steven Stills. Like, oh, damn, now.
Yeah, don't get too excited. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. It's Dr. Homebrew. Thanks for hanging out.